On this day, May 5th, 1847, the court here at Fort Sutter, acting under the legal power of two great authorities, the Mexican government and the US of A, is now in session. Proceeding as judge will be commander of the fort, governor of New Helvetia, alcalde by official appointment, the Honorable John Augustus Sutter.
Well spoken, Sheriff.
It ought to be. I practiced it enough.
Mr. Reed, though you are no attorney, I understand you will act as counsel for those accused.
So far as I'm able, Alcalde.
Mr. Kieseberg, have you still found no one to be your counsel?
Alcalde, I must counsel myself.
That may put you at a sizable disadvantage, sir. Surely there must be someone at the fort.
There is no one.
It is folly to go into this business alone.
Being alone in hell, I have become very well acquainted with the climate in this region. I look at this as a summer holiday.
We advise against it, but since you will have it no other way, you may prosecute your own case.
Okay.
Good. It favors us.
Gentlemen, as magistrate in this trial, lacking a jury, my judgment will have to be final. Mr. Kieseberg?
Yeah.
Mr. Reed?
Agreed.
Gentlemen, we are here this morning to try a slander case. Sheriff, describe the complaint.
Will the mentioned parties please rise? In this trial of Kieseberg versus Eddy and Foster, the injured party, Louis Kieseberg, charges the following persons with defamation of character: William Eddy and Bill Foster.
Sheriff, put these men to the oath.
Swear, in the presence of everlasting God, that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I swear.
Let me remind you, gentlemen, that the oath once taken is binding throughout the trial. Proceed.
The plaintiff, Mr. Louis Kieseberg, is seeking
Try damages.
damages and restitutions of $1,000.
Christ almighty, that's a fortune! We don't make that in a year!
Quiet. Under oath, Mr. Kieseberg has declared that these two individuals, on various occasions around this fort, have called him corpse hunter and carrion vulture. Also, they have accused him of being a thief, a robber of the dead, and of being directly responsible for the deaths of two little ones, George Foster and James Eddy, the children of the accused.
You have heard the charges, Mr. Reed. How did the defendants plead?
With regard to calling Mr. Kieseberg a corpse hunter and carrion vulture, we make no response at all, as this does not constitute slander.
And the basis for your thinking?
Well, you see, these words refer to the act of feeding off the dead, an act Mr. Kieseberg does not deny committing. And these defendants in no way condemn him for doing so. How could they, when they themselves were pushed to the same extremity? Indeed, Alcalde, many of the survivors had to maintain themselves in such a way to come out alive.
Then all the adversaries agree the use of the dead is not at issue here.
Agreed.
Agreed.
You must still answer to the other charges, Mr. Reed. Those accusing Mr. Kieseberg of robbery and murder.
They do admit to having made such accusations.
Then they confess to being guilty?
Not guilty.
You see, Alcalde, these accusations are not slander but the truth.
These are serious charges, sir. Are the men prepared to advance convincing proof?
We seek that opportunity, sir.
Mr. Kieseberg, you must be aware of the gravity of these charges and the consequences to you should they be proven true.
I would be tried for murder.
In these parts, sir, the punishment for that is hanging.
The hangman's rope is a terrifying threat, as we both know, Sheriff.
Then,
But
sir,
I put my trust in the justice of this court.
then, sir, you are ready to go ahead and prosecute this matter to its natural end.
I am. My honor leaves me no choice. I must.
Then let the trial begin. Gentlemen, I expect you to remember we are not here to judge the other members of the Donner Party, not the living or the dead. The issue we are concerned with, plain and simple, is the charge of slander. Mr. Kieseberg, you may make the first statement.
Herr Bürgermeister, 10 days ago, I was the last to come out. I rescued no one, only myself. My single achievement, if you can call it such, was that I survived. I'm no hero. Whereas here, we have 3 splendid heroes. Earlier on, James Reed went out on his own, and as everyone knows, he was first to bring word of our trouble to you, Herr Bürgermeister, at this fort. Some weeks later, William Eddy and Bill Foster, as members of the snowshoe party, succeeded in making their own escape, where I was unable to follow in their heroic footsteps. Because I was unable to come out months later, it pleases them to make Louis Kieselberg an outcast. With malice and spite, these heroes left me there to die.
That is not true.
They were convinced that without their help, I would have to perish. Regrettably, I dared to prove them wrong. They hate me for that. And now by their slander, these men mean to ruin me. I am no longer under any obligation to prove my charge. Just moments ago, Herr Sutter, in your presence, they freely confessed to calling me a grave robber and murderer. Very well. Let them prove it. For if I am innocent, they are guilty, and they must pay the penalty. But if I am guilty, you may order a new trial and take my life. And welcome to it. It is for you to decide.
Mr. Reed.
Alcalde, ultimately we will prove beyond a doubt that this man, Louis Kieselberg, is guilty of those crimes already described and those of greater magnitude. Out there in the snow with no proper law by which to govern ourselves, this man transgressed against his own kind. To begin with, he stayed on at Lake Truckee rather than risk his life in coming out so that he might rob from the dead. And then, fearing starvation, having no food, he plotted and carried out the murder of 2 young children, the only sons of these 2 men here. And finally, for reasons that can only be described as unnatural and depraved, he murdered the wife of our chosen leader, Mrs. Tamsin Donner.
No!
We will prove that these actions were carried out by design, not necessity, mind you, but by choice.
But choice.
To the degradation of his own humanity, to the damnation of his immortal soul, this man embraced evil. And when we have laid bare his transgressions, we will ask of this court that he be put to death.
Gentlemen, you may summon your witnesses. Mr. Reed.
Herr Sutter, I forgot to present this. I have been accused of remaining behind for some criminal purpose. The charge is false. At no time was I able to leave that lake. As evidence, I have a written and signed statement by Patrick Breen, a respected member of the Donner Party.
Sheriff, read it aloud.
If I can, it looks like you just learned how to write. I, Patrick Breen, age 40, born in Ireland, but of sound mind, make the following declaration of my own free will. One day last winter, to be precise, on October 25th, 1846, Mr. Louis Kieselberg hurt his foot real bad. We were getting ready to leave Truckee Lake when Mr. Kieselberg went out hunting after geese. Being a poor shot, I don't think he got any. After a spell, we saw Mr. Kieselberg come limping out of the surrounding brush. It was clear the man had stepped down a steep bank and landed in some willow stubs, one lodged deep into the underside of his foot.
Just so.
For a long time after that, I'd never seen the gentleman walk any distance on account of the before-mentioned injury. With all due respect, Patrick Breen.
Clearly, I was in no condition to leave the lake.
Mr. Reed, your first witness.
For our first witness, we call to the stand William Eddy.
Mr. William Eddy.
Please, William, introduce yourself.
My name is Will Eddy. I hail from Illinois, same as you, and Bill Foster. I'm a carriage maker by trade. When all of us started together from Springfield, I had a family. My wife Eleanor, and 2 children. I don't have them anymore.
The first group to escape the lake, 15 brave men and women, had to make snowshoes in order to get through the drifts.
We called ourselves the Snowshoe Party.
The reason that so many have survived is likely due to your
I
leadership.
take no special credit.
You should. More than once, your party was ready to give up, to lay down in the snow and die. Alcalde, it was this man who walked the remaining miles to this fort alone, his feet bloody and swollen. With every step he took, he left a trail of blood, later used to locate those waiting in the snow to die.
According to my diary, the snowshoe party did not reach the fort until January 17th. How long was the coming out?
1 month.
A month to traverse 50 miles?
Well, you see, Alcalde, these men had never been in the mountains before without a map or a compass.
We lost our way.
But after learning of the predicament from you, Mr. Reed, we sent out my 2 best Indian lads to the lake to help guide the rest of you back. Having them to show you the route, how was it possible to get lost?
Those guides, the Indians, well, they died soon after we started out.
Continue, Mr. Reed.
William, how well did you know Mr. Kieseberg?
Well enough, considering his family and mine would have been part of the Donner Party wagon train for nearly half a year.
I see. Now, William, between the time Mr. Kieseberg first hurt his foot and you took off with the snowshoe party, a period of 7 weeks, did you have the chance to observe him?
I had such opportunity.
Give us your impression as to the severity of his injury.
I don't deny he hurt his foot. He had some difficulty getting about, no question. But that was mostly in the beginning, before me and Foster took out with the snowshoe party.
I see. And when you came back in mid-March as members of the 3rd Relief, was Mr. Kieseberg still disabled?
I believe he was all mended, just putting on a pretense.
Then you judged him able-bodied enough to follow you back over the mountain.
There was never any doubt in my mind. 4 different relief parties came to the lake over a period of months. He could have left with any one of them if he wanted. It was clear he had a private reason not to.
Thank you, Mr. Eddy.
Mr. Kieseberg,
Sutter.
it's your turn with the witness.
I have no questions for this man. Just no.
Mr. Eddy, you may go back.
For our next witness, we call Bill Foster.
Mr. Bill Foster.
What do you mean you won't? You have to. You came here.
To show my support, not to give sworn testimony.
We could use a moment here, Alcalde. Bill, we need you to verify Eddie's statement.
I'm not about to, so just drop it.
Can we know why you refuse?
You press me anymore, mister, and I'll quit this trial. I'm of a mind to anyway.
The court waits, gentlemen.
Apologies, Alcalde. Perhaps Mr. Kieseberg has a witness of his own to call.
Yeah. My wife.
What's her testimony worth?
A woman has a right to be heard.
Mrs. Philippine Kieseberg. Swear in the presence of everlasting God that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah, I do.
Since we are husband and wife, Nina, it would be natural for you to be my constant companion on the journey. And then afterwards, in early November, when we were trapped at the lake, tell the court something of our circumstances there.
At the lake, we were 60 people. Once we saw that we would have to spend the winter there, everyone hurried to cut down trees and make shelter.
How many shelters did we put up?
3.
And how was the families divided?
The families of William Eddy and Bill Foster shared one place. Mrs. Reed and her children made a temporary alliance with the Graves family, and the Patrick Green family occupied the 3rd.
Where did you and your family stay, madam?
Since my husband was not fit for such hard work, we begged a favor of the Breen family. They permitted us to use the outside of one wall. We put animal hides on poles. How do they call it, Louis?
A lean-to.
Yeah, a lean-to. Without doors or windows. We live like that in darkness, no better than animals. It is a miracle we are here at all.
Excuse me, where did the Donner family stay?
They were not with us at Lake Truckee.
They decided to put their tent 6 miles away, a place called Alder Creek.
Was there some reason for this move?
They feared others brought to starvation first would rob them of their food.
Just so.
Then none of you tried to combine your provisions so that you might deal with the crisis more charitably?
What charity?
From the start, Elsada, it was each family for itself. Now, wife, I would like you to tell the court the condition of my injury.
Your foot was red and swollen, infected. We tried to cure it by soaking the foot in hot water at least 1 time per day, sometimes more often. One time I helped you to cut open the wound with a knife. You were in much pain always.
To your knowledge, wife, was I able to walk or move about at all?
9, for certain not.
No doubt you remember the end of February when you were leaving the lake.
Yeah. Mrs. Reed and myself, we went out to the first relief party sent from this fort. In all, 18 people. I felt bad about leaving you behind, Louis. A proper wife does not do this.
And yet you did. Why?
Our little one, the baby, he died 2 weeks before. We had to think of our daughter, Ada. You agreed, Lucy. You wanted us to go.
Why did I not go on with you?
How could you when you could not walk? It was not possible.
Perhaps I was exaggerating my condition so I may remain behind.
Madness. It's the only chance at life was getting out, as the lake was only death. Only a madman would stay back.
Thank you, my dear. Harry.
Madam, how could you be certain your husband was not able to walk?
Huh? I have eyes. The man never left his bed. He stayed inside with me all of the time.
No doubt he would and did. But for the necessity of having to go out and cut firewood, everyone was confined indoors because of the fearful cold.
That is true, but with Louis...
Isn't it also true that, with firewood being so scarce, that the warmest place would be bundled up in bed?
That is also true, however...
Then you actually never had a good opportunity to judge your husband's condition.
9. There was never a doubt. Why should he think to stay back?
Why, indeed? Was your husband not angry at certain members of the party, myself and George Donner, who were in charge?
Angry?
Did he not blame us for his troubles?
He was not like that, not Louis.
Not the sort of man to nurture thoughts of revenge against those he hated.
Never.
And yet, madam, in the episode between me and the drover John Schneider, he urged others to lynch me. Is this an example of his forgiving nature?
Please, my wife is not on trial.
Alcalde, I am trying to establish this man's extreme hostility.
On the contrary, Mr. Reed is using this court as a platform to whitewash his own crimes.
Madam, deny your husband was eager to see me lynched.
There were others just as eager, Reed.
Then you admit he desired my death.
My God, the man is half a cripple. All our belongings, everything we had is no more. We've become like the poorest of beggars.
You are alive, madam, and apparently well enough.
You dare speak to me of alive and well after my leaving 2 children in the snow?
Then you blame me for that.
Who else but you? You and your unnatural pride to be frozen like ice in the snow, having to watch my kinder starve before my eyes with no hope of escape. And all this because of your uncontrollable vanity and conceit. Some talk of God's judgment, others blame the snow. That is not so. We only suffered because of your wrong thinking. Back at Fort Bridger, we only took the Hastings route. That road straight to hell, because you influenced Herr Donner.
Was the nearer way.
Nearer, sir, but not safer.
We put it to a vote everyone knew.
Even Mrs. Donner was not happy with the decision. The presence of wives and children should make any man cautious. But not you, Herr Reed. Because of your mood of the moment, we had to pay the full price with precious lives, because your nearer way carried so many innocent ones into early graves.
I meant no harm.
There is no comfort in that, sir.
If it could all be done over again, only this time it would cost me my life, I would gladly give it.
Then let that be your final epitaph.
Philomena! Mina!
Christ almighty, James! You gonna let that German bitch kick your ass black and blue?
Hardly the way I planned.
Silence in the court!
In the future, Mr. Reed, you will keep your remarks to the purpose of this trial.
My humble apologies, Alcalde.
You did not dismiss Mrs. Kieseberg. Should we call her back?
Some other time.
More like some other trial.
Mr. Kieseberg, I trust your wife has recovered.
Yeah, she is fine, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I missed to apologize for this disruption and delay.
If it is not too great an inconvenience, gentlemen, may we continue?
Certainly.
Yes, sir. May I give my statement to tell my side of the story?
Proceed. Mr. Reed, you may question after he has finished.
There are some of those who think, because of the terrible circumstances, the snow being such a hazard, 30 feet deep, that I was frightened to risk my life in such a perilous crossing. I was frightened, to be sure. But the fear of going was nothing compared to the terror of having to stay. I have also been accused of remaining behind, malingering, as they say, out of safety and comfort. Safety and comfort was there. The shed we lived in wasn't fit for pigs, let alone people.
But after your wife went out with the first relief, Mr. Kieseberg, did you not leave the lean-to and move into the Foster Eddy cabin?
Yeah, the Foster Eddy cabin. They went out 2 months earlier, leaving us behind to starve. My companions were little children and Mr. Foster's mother, a helpless old lady. That cabin, always cold, no light or fresh air. We lived in our own filth. In a place like that, it is easier to die than to stay alive. For food, we had old leather hides. They had to be boiled for hours before they could be swallowed and digested. There were some of those who chose to starve rather than eat such donkey. I would risk 1,000 deaths in the snow, and do so happily, before I should have to remain behind 1 day longer than needed. My injury left me no choice.
For the record, your incurable injury.
Since you will not be convinced of my words alone, Herr Reed, let me remove my shoe and put my foot on display.
Mr. Reed, we have already used up too much time discussing Mr. Kieseberg's lower extremities. Shall we move upward and hopefully onward?
Mr. Kieseberg, were you on friendly terms with the Donner family?
I was.
In regard to Mr. Donner?
More with Mrs. Donner. We had many pleasant conversation on our 6-month journey. She would tell me of her plans to start a school for girls in California. We all had such high aspirations.
Of course, you knew how well off they were.
I knew they were not all.
Oh, surely you must have known they were carrying a sizable fortune with them. Gold and silver in coins, not to mention thousands of dollars in paper.
There were such rumors.
I suggest you decided quite logically to stay on longer at the lake, to bide your time until those Donners were either dead or gone.
Lies!
Then, when there was no one left to hinder you, you saw your opportunity to steal and you took it.
Louis Kieseberg is no grave robber. He does not wait for friends to die so he can rob from their corpses.
Mr. Reed, you have proof to support such a charge?
This man's done such things before, Alcalde. Why not again?
You would not say so.
I just did, mister.
If it is your intention to give testimony, Mr. Reed, you must do so under oath.
Willingly.
Mr. Reed, you may deliver your statement without interruption. Mr. Kieseberg, you may examine after.
The incident occurred while we were crossing the Great Plains. We were somewhere along the Platte River. We were passing through the ancient burial grounds of the Sioux. The bodies of the dead Indians were on raised platforms all around us. You can well imagine our mortal fear when we discovered that Kieseberg had stolen a buffalo robe.
This robe you say I took, stole, Was it not returned?
Aye, that it was, but only after we called a council and threatened to turn you out.
Says that you admit to this small offense.
Small offense!
Was this you plotted against me? Tried to have me and my family banished?
You were a thief. It endangered the entire party.
Your shortcut, did it not endanger the entire party?
You provoked others to lynch me.
You tried to cast me out!
I was the one that got cast out.
Did you not deserve it when you raised your hand in blood anger and plunged a knife into the heart of that John Stewart?
Gentlemen!
I had cause. He struck my wife. He tried to kill me.
And taking that robe, I had cause. My children were gold.
Gentlemen! You will conduct yourselves in a suitable manner or be punished with a heavy fine. Mr. Kieseberg, we are not here to put James Reed on trial, nor to tarnish the reputation of these others. They went back out into the snow to rescue others. What they did is already on record, and few among us could hope to equal them. The charge you bring against these men, sir, is defamation of character. Your character.
Yes, sir. If we may take some time to collect ourselves.
No doubt that would improve everyone's disposition. Let the trial commence in 1 hour. All of you are free to go.
It's 1 hour, gentlemen.
Look, early this morning, we got a word from a special witness. He's bound to arrive at any time.
It does not interest me.
Oh, it should, German. We wait for Fallon.
Fallon LaGrosse?
To put a rope around your neck, vulture.
Eddie, that's enough.
Marlo. Magistrate.
Get out of here, man. Escape. There's still time. This only ends one way.
You believe me guilty.
No, you are.
You seek my death. Why urge me to save myself? James, when you returned on the second relief, you fed me. You bathed me. You gave me hope. Then you left me set to die.
No.
Before leaving me in that place, to become partners with the dead. Why did you just not kill me?
Think what you like, I am no coward. I have no fear of Louis Kieseberg.
Then take the stand. Speak out.
Where does it end? Didn't I make the ride to notify Fallon? Surely he can do the rest.
Fallon may not get here in time, may not come at all. Bill, you were there when they took Kieseberg out.
So is the sheriff. Put him on the stand.
But Kintry's with the court. He can't get involved.
Neither can I.
Without your testimony, Bill, what you witnessed on that final relief, Kieseberg is likely to walk away free.
I say let him go and good riddance.
We lost our young ones back there. Our boys, or have you forgotten?
I don't seem able to forget anything, Eddie, as much as I keep trying. Excuse me for saying it straight out, Reed, but except for you and Yorn, we all lost loved ones, Kieseberg included. Christ, making our way over the mountains that last time, I was with the German.
None of this matters.
It does!
Wait. You think it's something I should know, Bill? Let's have it.
Well, coming out with Fallon just a couple of weeks ago, we stopped to rest at a campground used by the earlier parties. Kieseberg decided to make some coffee. He started a fire and filled his coffee pot with snow. Me and the sheriff, we were waiting for the water to heat up when we noticed it.
Notice what?
Just a bit of cloth, a torn strip sticking out of a snowbank. Kieseberg seemed to recognize it from somewhere, and I watched him as he went over to it, this crazy look on his face. He took hold of the cloth and gave it a strong pull, and Jesus, it fell right into his arms.
What did?
The body of his little girl, left there by his wife when she come out long before.
Christ, that's how we found out.
He just held on to her like a block of ice, rocking her in his arms.
I consider that God's will.
However much we lost, Eddie, so did he.
This kind of talk only weakens us. We're forgetting why we're here. to destroy that vulture.
How do we know we're any better? What if underneath it all there's no difference between us? What if we're all the same?
Bill, we require your testimony. In times like these, you have no right to refuse.
I have reasons, mister.
Let Tamsin Donner be your reason.
You, more than most, have a powerful reason to hate that German.
My reasons are my own.
Have you no feeling about your boy? The way he died. That monster slaughtered him in
Mister, you go too far. Stop there.
This court at Sutter's Fort is in session again. Let the trial proceed.
Mr. Kieseberg, your next witness.
Let's call someone a character witness. Mrs. Reed.
Mrs. Margaret Reed.
Your wife, here to help him?
Without my knowledge, believe me.
Swear, in the presence of everlasting God, that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Of course, the whole truth is never been worth much piecemeal.
Dear lady, please declare your name.
The sheriff just did that better than I ever could.
For the record, what is your connection to the plaintiff?
Connection?
Are you here out of personal concern, as a friend?
Not exactly. This man's family and my own, we made the overland journey together. You may say we were neighbors while moving on.
You are here, are you not, madam, to serve as a character witness for Mr. Kieseberg?
I am here to carry out my duty as a proper Christian woman, which is to serve the truth.
Well spoken, Mrs. Reed. Proceed, Mr. Kieseberg.
On earlier accounts, Mrs. Reed, the party established that we had to make permanent camp at Lake Bucky, but with food in short supply and everyone facing slow starvation, it was imperative that whoever could should leave at first opportunity. We would have to go out. In early November, a month before the snowshoe party, the company made its first major attempt to cross over the Great Rock Wall of the Sierra Nevada. No doubt you remember.
That venture was doomed from the start.
How many joined the attempt?
More than half. Captain Sutter had sent out 2 young Indian lads from his fort. Having some knowledge of the terrain, they act as our guides.
Did you hold a good opinion of those young men?
Indeed, those boys were there risking their life to rescue us. It grieved me when I heard that they perished afterwards.
You mean coming out of the snowshoe party?
Objection! Surely this line of questioning is a waste of our precious time, isn't it, Alcalde?
Mr. Kieseberg, let your witness speak to the point.
Not now.
Something I should know, gentlemen?
Nothing.
Excuse us, please continue, Alcalde.
Now, madam, you and the others were going to cross the final summit.
We were hopeful in the beginning, but that changed all too sudden. What with overloaded wagons, which we soon had to be left behind, and having to carry out the smaller children. That first day, we did not get far.
How far did we go?
A distance of 2-3 miles of that.
In the summit?
Clear ahead, just a couple miles off. Might as well be in 1,000. We had to make a halt.
Just showed us a pass. Were you aware of the critical nature of this decision?
By then, barely.
Mr. Eddy and Mr. Foster, they were along. Were they aware?
By then, we were also low down in spirits, chilled, beyond hearing. However, I remember when it came time to take you down off your horse, sir, you put up a protest.
Can you remember my words?
Of course. You begged us not to quit there. You urged us to push on with the remaining horses and get beyond the ridge before making a halt. You feared a change in the weather. No one paid any attention. I'm sorry to say, you were the only one there who saw the danger clear ahead.
What did the party do then?
Everyone just lay down right there in the ground. Some huddling around the fire. The children were bundled up in blankets and buffalo robes. We comforted ourselves with the thought, no, the false hope, that tomorrow will see us safely over the heights.
What prevented us?
In the middle of the night, with everyone fast asleep, it began to fall. Snow. Heavy snow. Coming down without a let-up. Blinding. We were told it wouldn't happen for weeks yet, but never so early. There it was. And it fell in our heads like an icy judgment from hell. No one had to say anything because everybody already knew this storm was bringing certain death.
Did everyone accept death as inevitable?
Most everyone I can see. Except you, sir. You struggled to your feet, even though you were unfit. Yes, unfit! You began crying out, hobbling from one group to another, shaking people and shouting at them to rouse up and save themselves.
What did this accomplish?
At first, it was like a graveyard. But then heads began to pop out of the snow to take stock of the predicament. We had no choice but to go back to the lake. Most of us would not be alive today if it wasn't for your actions, Mr. Kieseberg.
Thank you, madam. Your life is all yours, Harry.
Fortunately,
James, your missus must bear you some long-standing grudge.
she has but one affliction, Will. An overzealous desire to tell the truth. You're free to go, Margaret. I have no questions for this lady, Your Honor.
I should hope not, James. Not after all these years.
Oh, hold on, Margaret. Is the child prepared?
What child?
She's too young, James.
Margaret, she is to be called.
Would you demand it if she were one of ours?
I would.
Mr. Reed, you may continue.
We call back to the stand William Eddy. Now, William, after you got back here to the fort, following the snowshoe party, you and Foster spent 6 weeks here?
First weeks we were laid up. Not good for much anything. After that, well,
We were waiting for the first relief to come back in.
hoping all women, folk, and children would be among those rescued.
The first relief returned on March 1st with 18 survivors, none of which were your loved ones.
Then your Margaret told me my Eleanor had died. Foster's mother was still left back there, as was our 2 boys, Foster's son George and my Jim.
How old were your boys?
Both 3 years.
Too young to come out on their own.
We knew we had to go back in and carry them out ourselves.
And so, on March 7th, as members of the 3rd Relief, you went out to the camp. When you got there, you went straight away to the Foster Eddy cabin where your children would be staying. The cabin now occupied by Mr. Kieseberg.
Mr. Kieseberg came out to greet us. When we asked him about our boys, he said,
What did he say, Will?
I ate them.
I ate them. Those precise words.
He might have said we. I can't rightly say for sure.
Did you think that your sons had died of cold or hunger?
I didn't know what to think, but it struck me like a spit in the face that that man was boasting, like he was challenging us. It set me off, and I guess I went wild. I wanted to kill him on the spot. I tried to find an axe or a club to blot him out forever.
Were you of the conviction he had murdered one or both of the boys?
I didn't know what I thought, whether he slaughtered them or not. All I know is that that abomination must not be allowed to live. When a creature is infected with the plague, you don't let it hang on to suffer and infect the others. You put it away. It would against nature to let him off.
And yet, you did not kill him. What prevented you?
The man himself, he just stood there, waiting for the blow to fall, like he was hoping I would end his agony. I studied the horrible thing he had become, and I didn't have the stomach for it. There's no doubt he deserved to die, that it was right and natural. But at the same time, he wasn't worth killing.
Sir, go to your next point.
William, this was the last time you saw Foster's mother alive. Did you not think to question her about how your children died?
There was no time for such bother, nor for grieving or revenge. We had about thinking about rescuing the other children, the 3 Donner girls. My mother had just brought them down from Alder Creek. Make sure they got out with the next relief.
Alcalde, because of the actions of these men, those 3 little girls are alive today. William, why didn't Mrs. Donner come out with her children? Was she afraid to make the crossing?
Afraid? That woman? You know what Tamsin was like, James.
Well, then it's obviously she had a reason to stay behind, much like Kieseberg.
On the account of her husband being left back at Alder Creek. He had been ailing for some time, and everyone judged him to be nearing the end.
So she had to make a choice.
A fearful choice.
To stay on with Mr. Donner, who was expected to die at any time, or else go out with her children and preserve her own life.
We knew she would not abandon her husband on his deathbed. When she left us, I watched her start back to Alder Creek. Anyone else would have had some doubt. She never once looked back.
You got there in the morning. By noon, each man came out of that dung heap carrying a child on his back. William, who was left behind?
Just Mrs. Donner and her husband up at Alder Creek. Down to Lake Foster's mother and Kieseberg.
You're a witness.
Mr. Eddy, let's go back to when we were standing outside your cabin. I can remember more words between us. If you cannot, or will not, then I must do it for you.
I told you if you ever got out, I would surely kill you.
Regarding your threat, Mr. Eddy.
It was a sober resolution. I meant every word.
So here, before this court, you freely confessed to threatening to take my life.
You know I did.
But now, that you have had some time to come to your senses, maybe assumes that it was a empty threat. Or do you still mean to take my life? You are under oath, Mr. Eddy, and I advise you to answer me.
Well, that would depend on the outcome of this trial.
You hear? This man stands self-condemned. He is just one small step from becoming my murderer.
Mr. Eddy, such threats cannot and will not be tolerated here. If it proves necessary, you can be lawfully detained.
Aye, we have accommodations that way.
If we are to go on, I must first have your word there will be no seeking after vengeance.
Alcalde, I can vouch for Mr. Eddy's conduct going forward.
Mr. Eddy, have we your word?
There'll be no bloodshed around this fort.
Let us proceed.
I must make another statement.
Very well. Make your statement.
I have been accused of killing 2 young children. Am I not the father myself? Did not my own children perish as long as with theirs? Under sacred oath, I declare, I did nothing to bring about the deaths of those young boys. No matter what they say about me, I am not such a monster. When Eddie and Foster found me at the lake, they naturally inquired of their children. And I told them they died, and we had to eat them.
Not I ate them?
We had to eat them.
Then at no time did you ever boast about.
How could I? That food, if you dare call it as such, was nothing but loathsome and detestable. I went hungry for days before I let myself. I can't even describe the horror I felt the first times that we only did that to survive. We had to.
You say we?
Yeah, it's that cabin.
Mr. Foster's mother?
No, she loved that child.
Oh, no, not the old lady. She chose this one. But those little Donner girls, being little children, they had no such feelings.
Lies!
Mr. Kieseberg, you're saying you had no choice.
None at all.
Then you were forced into such action out of cruel necessity.
Yeah, forced into it. They forced me into it when they abandoned me without shame or pity.
No one abandoned this man!
I am speaking.
Continue, Mr. Kieseberg.
Sacred promises were made and then broken, conveniently forgotten. They came back for the women and children. Am I not a person also? Is not a man like myself worth saving? 5 weeks alone in that place, with nothing to do but think. Such thoughts, to sink lower and lower. They abandoned me this way. They made me into this disgusting bird, the vulture, that feeds off of the dead. Because of them I am unclean. I shall never forgive.
Louis, there was no way for me to carry on. If only I could have.
Mr. Reed, you may question.
Alcalde, we reserve the right to question Mr. Kieseberg at a later time.
James, we have to prove that he's lying.
William, the counter charges murder. We have yet to prove
Then
that.
prove it.
Sheriff, you'll find my wife waiting outside. Please ask her to step in.
Mrs. Reed, we require your presence, ma'am.
For our next witness, we call the child Georgia Dodd.
Must we question the child?
William, when I consented to be your counsel, I told you there would be no holding back.
Well, we did not expect this.
There's plenty of this that none of us expected, and much more to come.
How can they think to use the child?
Mr. Reed, there is concern whether such a young child, being without a proper guardian, should be subject to the rigors of this trial.
Alcalde, being a father myself, I share your concerns. However, without the testimony of this child and her sisters, we may never discover the fate of their 2 boys.
Mr. Kieseberg, how do you respond?
Whatever the court decides.
Georgia Donner!
The value of this testimony is beyond dispute and cannot be rightly denied.
Thank you.
However, I must caution you, gentlemen, any attempt to mislead, confuse, or otherwise exploit this child, and I promise you it will go hard with that person. The child, tell us your name.
My name is Georgia Donner. I'm the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. George Donner. My parents are dead.
Who told you to say that?
Mama had us learn it before she sent us away.
Georgia, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You must say, I do.
I do.
Proceed.
Georgia, how did you come out over the mountains?
Mr. Eddie took me away. I rode on his back.
I see. Now, Georgia, do you remember when your mother took you down to the lake cabins to stay with Mrs. Foster and Mr. Kieseberg?
We went there after our dad took sick. Mama said we'd have to stay there so we could go out.
I see. Georgia, did Mrs. Foster treat you kindly?
She was a lot like her grandma, but there was no food and we were afraid.
Afraid of what?
Him.
You'll have to speak up, child. Were you afraid of Mr. Kieseberg?
Yes, sir.
It's all right. You're safe.
No one can harm you now, Georgia.
Georgia, why were you afraid of Mr. Kieseberg? And did he ever do anything to harm you, strike you or your sister?
Whenever we wanted to play, he would shout at us and tell us to be quiet. He made us keep to our beds.
Did he ever punish you in any other ways, Georgia?
He would look at us.
Don't you mean stare, Georgia? How would he stare?
I must object. He's speaking for the child.
Desist, Mr. Reed.
Georgia, I'm sure you remember the little boy who was living with you. His name was George Foster. Do you remember the day George died?
Yes, sir.
How did it come about that he should die?
I don't know.
Do you remember the night before he died?
Mr. Kieselberg took George to bed with him.
Had he ever done anything like that with the other children?
No, sir.
Can you say why he did this?
George was shivering of the cold, and Mr. Kieselberg said it would help to keep him warm. The next morning, he was dead.
That does not tell us how he died.
We never saw that.
Georgia, what happened after you found little George dead?
Grandma Foster took George over to the fire and held him on her lap. She said she knew who had done that. She was looking at Mr. Kieselberg when she said that.
You heard Mrs. Foster say he killed the boy.
I must protest.
Mr. Reed, you know better.
Georgia, please try to remember. Did Mrs. Foster say anything else about Mr. Kieselberg?
We heard her say he strangled him.
Strangled George in his sleep.
Yes, son.
Mr. Reed, do not try our patience.
I only wish to repeat Mrs. Foster's words. He strangled him. Your witness.
Georgia, I know I was not very nice to you and your sisters. I did yell at you for being underfoot and made you keep to your beds. I am sorry for that. But was there ever a time that I harmed you?
No, sir, I never said you did.
What happened after Mrs. Foster accused me?
You came over and took George away from Grandma Foster. Then you put him up on the wall.
You mean I hung him on a wooden peg?
Yes, sir.
Why would I do such a thing?
I think that you wanted to show us that Grandma Foster was wrong, that you hadn't done anything bad.
Can you remember my words?
Objection! He's manipulating the child!
Perhaps. But both sides must be allowed an equal voice. What did you say, Mr. Kieselberg?
I said, look here, child. This boy died of hope. Can you not remember me saying that?
I'm not sure, sir.
Mr. Foster, you may wish to excuse yourself.
I'll stay.
As you did. Now, Georgia, there are people that think badly of me. They want to punish me. They think that the first time that we ate that food, that I was the only
He's
one
wanted
who
to press the child further. How kind they? Whatever he has done, she'll just have to live with it.
Mr. Kieselberg, we are not here to wreck innocent lives.
It was foolish of me. Enough.
Come along, child. Your sisters are waiting outside.
Yes, sir. The words attributed to Mr. Foster's mother stand to accuse me.
How can it be resolved, sir?
With Mr. Foster's testimony.
We have no objection. Mr. Foster, how say you?
He's got other witnesses to call.
Bill, you must do it!
I will not get up there.
What have you to hide?
I can't.
See it through, man.
Mr. Foster, are we to understand you refuse?
Bill Foster.
Mr. Foster, it is common knowledge that you started out with the Donner Party.
Me and my wife, Sarah, our little boy and my mother.
Your record of heroic action is outstanding. After escaping the lake, you returned twice to help those in need. In the episode between myself and Mr. Eddie, you saved my life.
I saved Eddie from becoming a murderer.
Mr. Foster, let's go back to the third relief. When Mr. Eddie was asked why he did not question your mother, did you think to question her?
It plagues me I did not, but like Eddie said, we had no time.
Surely there was enough time for a few questions, but it would have been of no consequence considering the old lady's condition.
She had no condition.
When you went out, why did you not take her out with you?
Lord knows I never wanted to leave her behind.
But you did.
We had the little ones to carry out. There was no way my mother could walk or keep up. She was too feeble.
In mind as well as body.
Her mind was sound enough. She was not even age 60.
Her age is not in question, Mr. Foster. Just her mental faculties. Do you deny she was unsound?
Her mind may have wandered some on occasion.
To your knowledge, when you saw her last, was she not also half blind?
Her sight was poorly, I don't deny that.
And did she not also carry on whole conversations with herself?
There were times when I've done the same. She was not addled.
Half blind, her thoughts confused and in a muddle, and yet you say not addled? Do you defend her memory because she was your mother?
I speak the truth. She was sound enough to look after half a dozen youngsters.
But isn't it possible, even more likely, that she was mistaken that I harmed your son?
Not to my thinking.
And to my thinking, we both know the old lady was far gone.
Aye, far gone. When I went off, I told her I'd be back, but she knew it was all over for her, and she accepted that. Only we know some who thrived.
Going out with the Indian guides and the snowshoers. Did you not also strive? Objection! To know the truth of Mr. Foster's accusations, we must know the man himself.
Look, we know it's on trial here. Get on with it.
Proceed.
Shall I repeat the question, Mr. Foster?
No need. You want me to tell about the snowshoe party, and I'd just as soon have it told. On leaving the lake, we were 15 in number. 9 men, 5 women, and 1 youngster, a boy.
And your 2 Indian guides.
All resolute and able-bodied. Our worst trouble commenced the 6th day out when we got ourselves lost. Our rations gave out altogether, and it seemed like it would never stop snowing. By the 9th day, we had not touched food in over 48 hours, and most of the men were for turning back. Eddie was the only one with nerve enough to go on, and the women were solid behind him, so he got his way.
At this point, there was no prospect of finding food.
None. Only one.
You mean each other?
No one spoke out as yet, but every time one of us looked over at somebody else, you could see it peeping out of his eyes. The message was clear.
Who spoke out first?
Patrick Dolan. He suggested we draw lots to settle on who should die to feed the rest. And he was in favor.
Was anyone opposed?
I was.
Fine.
I honestly didn't see how we could do it. I mean, the butchering.
What else could you do?
Eddie then urged another way. Have 2 of us take up our guns and fight it out.
That way, one or both shall die.
Whichever. There was some merit to the idea. At least a man would not have to be slaughtered like a hog.
Did you do that?
No, it was the manly way, no doubt, but
Hardly civilized.
certain things die hard, mister. Anyway, we finally decided on the most practical solution. We would just keep going until somebody, whoever's the weakest, would just keel over and quit.
And that person would provide.
Yes! That night happened to be Christmas Eve. Somebody failed to tend the fire, and in the middle of the night, the flame went out. Eddie somehow got us together in a tight circle to contain the heat from our bodies, and that surely saved us.
Was there any deaths that night?
3 of us men. The Mexican Antonio, Uncle Billy Graves, and Patrick Dolan. But so far, all untouched.
So far.
The storm kept us pinned down all the next day. After not being able to move for 30 straight hours, we left our circle.
And?
We fed!
Everyone?
Most everyone except for Eddie, but soon afterward the women folk forced it on him when he was half conscious. We knew we'd never make it without him.
So that no one among you was untainted.
Whatever we did, Kieseberg, nobody favored it, and nobody ever touched any of his own. Nobody did that!
You have not been dismissed, Mr. Foster. As yet, you have not told us of your 2 Indian guides.
What about the Indians?
Go on with your testimony, sir.
We kept moving south, still lost, making 5-6 miles a day. By the 4th day of the new year, we found ourselves in the same fix. Without food for 3 days straight and half crazy, some of us began to consider the Indians.
Even so, they served you so faithfully.
And he got us to delay, which allowed him all the time he needed. He warned them in private to leave our camp.
Did they escape unharmed?
They did.
You are under oath, sir.
We come across their footprints in the snow some days later. The Indian guides, their tracks were freshly marked with blood like our own.
Did you still think of those boys as food?
I resolved to follow.
With all the others?
We followed their trail together.
With all the intent on such kill?
No, we were hoping to find them already dead.
So, a mile or two down the trail, you come to the end. You find them, and was they dead?
They were on the ground, both of them utterly done in.
But was they dead?
More dead than alive.
Helpless, but still alive.
They had no chance and they knew it.
In your opinion?
Bill, no more!
Silence. Continue.
So, while you were preparing the kill, where was Eddie and the others?
They had no hand in it.
Of course. They removed themselves so there would be no witnesses.
It was not like that, I swear.
So, go on, Mr. Foster. You're standing over the Indian, still alive on the ground. Did you use a gun or a knife?
I told those boys they had to die anyway, and I think they understood.
Not a gun or a knife, a club!
A gun! And then a knife!
How long did you wait before drinking their blood? So, you and the others have the food you needed to survive, but they are only Indians, as I am only a foreigner. Do you even remember their names?
Salvador and
Luis. Salvador and Luis. Those boys had names.
Mister, you bet on my boy and my mother. You filled your stomach with them so you can save your miserable puking life.
Our guilt is equal. We are the same.
What you hung up on that wall? That was no animal. That was my son.
You had to break him out too! Gatorberg! You were too crazy to stop himself, but it was different with you. You decided it was right.
I decided.
That little Donna girl, she fell on your children and hurt to the gallows.
Eddie should have killed him, and I should have helped him.
Sheriff, let him go.
Look at them, Louis. They are broken.
We call another recess. McKinstry, come back here. You are needed.
Louis, come away.
No, not yet. James, that is only part of the truth. Did your splendid William Eddy tell you how he managed to survive the snowshoers? How could he? Get away. Everyone in that party had starvation rations. But Eddie's wife, in secret, put a pound of beef inside his coat to nourish her husband, to sustain your shining hero. Your hero is silent. Ask him! Ask him!
It was done without my approval.
Your companions need none of your approval. Just a fair portion of the food in your possession. When you found that food there, did you share it with the others? Or did you keep it for yourself, to eat in private? I see. You can survive any way you can, but not the German. He is to devour the snow, and only the snow, and to die in it. How are we to be made clean again? The vulture, did he not eat all manner of unmentionables? Let him swallow up sins as well. No, James, do I have no right to come back from the dead? Must I go back, sir? Welcome to hell, Gross.
Oh, now, if it isn't the king of the carrion vulture. Hey, mister, I hear it's open season on carrion vulture.
Swear in the presence of everlasting God that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. A month back, early in April, I was called in by Captain Sutter there to set up an expedition back up to Truckee Lake. So that would be the fourth and final relief. So I recruited me 6 men I knew to be good character. Bill Foster was one, and right there's the best of the bunch, George McKinstry.
You ain't so bad yourself, Cap.
Well, if I recollect correct, we left this fort on April 13th.
And if I'm not mistaken, 4 days later, you reached the main campsite on the lake.
About midday.
Tell us what you found on your arrival.
At first, we just stood there, all 7 of us. You might say, it was frozen in time. I could see the stillness of the forest. I remember in the quiet of the trees. Without saying a word, God, we all felt it.
Felt what?
The creeping horrors. It was like the place had a curse over it.
Did you find anyone alive?
Not just then. No. All around us there were corpses, enough corpses to fill a boneyard. Bits and pieces of bodies just scattered anywhere you want to look. With the thaw coming on, well, some of them were getting a bit ripe. We had to look away.
Always they look away.
But right off, Bill Foster found the remains of his mother. You could see it upset him.
To find her dead.
To find her with her legs sawed clean off.
Oh. Captain, what did you and your men do then?
Well, since we were there to recover items of value, we spent the day looking around the cabins. That didn't really turn out much. And so we started to head up to Alder Creek where the Donner tents were.
I see. Did you find anything of interest along the way?
Indeed. Came across a trail in the snow. And I could tell from the tracks that it was headed the same way we were. I said away from the lake and up to the Donner tent. So we just followed it.
And where did those tracks eventually take you?
Right up to the tents. Now, whoever made those tracks, judging by the evidence, must have left only that morning, maybe just minutes before we arrived.
Was there anything else you could determine?
Enough. The fellow was coming back to the lake. You might say doubling back on his trail. And since we never run into each other on the way, well, I have to conclude that he saw us coming and decided to avoid us at all costs.
I see. So then the stranger, whoever it was, had no desire to be found there.
Well, I mean, I could say it just half so perfect.
Now, Captain, you and your men are at Alder Creek making an inventory of what you found. Was everyone gone?
Well, gone or dead. That day and the next, we spent gathering up all sorts of goods and sorting it out to what we could bring back. Damned if we still couldn't figure out what happened to the Donner riches.
You see, then you're expecting to find...
all sorts of money, not counting the gold and silver. Everybody at the fort knew that the Donners were unusual wealthy, and we were hoping to come back with $16,000.
But, as it turns out, you found little money and no silver or gold. Did you assume Mrs. Donner had hidden her wealth?
Oh, well, that would be a good explanation.
And you know another.
Well, whoever made that trail in the snow, maybe he robbed the Donners before we got there.
Before you had a chance to claim your rightful share.
If only I could say it just half so perfect.
I suppose there is some point to all this, Mr. Reed.
Captain, while you were inspecting the main family tents, did you come across any food?
Well, at the opening, there was an ox leg. Must have been pulled recent-like from the thaw.
Beef.
Beef. Good eating, too. And I could see it was well preserved.
Could you tell if the beef had been eaten at all?
Well, some. Little piece had been cut from the shoulder, no more.
As if someone had tasted it.
I tasted it and did not find it to his fancy.
Did you find any human remains?
Body of a man. And from the age, I could tell that it was the elderly gentleman, George Donner. He'd been wrapped up real careful like in a winding sheet. It's obvious his wife had done it to pay her last respects. And then when
Please, go on.
the old man's body had been abused.
How abused?
Well, the head had been split open and the brains had been scooped out. Some flesh was taken from the groin.
Sir, we have a lady present.
Well, then don't ask for such truth, Your Honor, if you can't stand to hear it.
Now, Captain Fallon, could you determine if there was any sign of Mr. Donner's wife?
No, not a trace, no. after her husband died, we figured that she would head back down to the lake to see if there was anyone else still alive.
Let's see. What did you do on the next day?
Well, we still had to solve the mystery of the missing money, and only one way to do that, and that would be to follow that trail. And wouldn't you know it, led us right back down to the cabins.
What did you find on your arrival at the cabins?
The only person who could have made them tracks, Kiesenberg.
Oh, there'd be no way that Fallon would know who made those tracks.
That's not true, Alcaldes. I mean to demonstrate.
Do so.
Captain Fallon, was there anything interesting or special about those tracks that might indicate who would have made them?
Well, yeah, the left foot track was all smudged from being dragged along. The person making those tracks was lame on the left side, just like Kiesenberg is.
So at this point, Captain, you can be certain that it was Mr. Kiesenberg that went to the Donner tents ahead of him.
Correct.
Describe your first meeting with this gentleman.
Well, that gentleman was lying in the corner of the Foster cabin. Bunch of bones all around him. Jesus, the stink in that place. The man greeted me with a smile. He was eating from a skillet, and I could see he was taking great pleasure in his meal.
Yes, sir.
Less embroidery, Captain. More facts.
Now, Captain Fallon, so far as you could determine, was the Mrs. Donner's remains anywhere about, either inside or outside the cabin?
No, they were not. And since there had been no talk about him having buried her, the absence of a body struck me as being peculiar. Then the next thing I noticed were these two cooking kettles about this big, full of blood.
Human blood?
I must
Had to
protest.
be.
How could you tell it was human blood?
Well, anybody who knows the land knows that at that time of the year, there's no big game around these parts. No, even if he got lucky and killed himself a bear, where was the animal hide?
Had to be human blood.
Now, Captain Fallon, did you ask Mr. Kiesenberg about the contents of those kettles?
I asked him if the blood come from Mrs. Donner's corpse.
And he did not deny it.
No, he said blood has salt. It gives taste.
As much as admitting it.
And I asked him about the woman's body, where it might be found. He said there was no body. He'd been feeding on her flesh for days now. And aside from the blood, well, he'd taken 4 pounds of fat flesh from her corpse. He boasted about it.
I boasted? And you made that statement without boasting. Continue, Captain Fallon.
Oh, well, he could see the look on my face. It was plain what I was thinking. But he wasn't going to back down or show no shame. Oh, no, not him. No. He stood up nice and tall, and in a loud voice he said, "All things are possible to the king of the frozen dead. He is not
bound by your puny laws. He is the child of the snow. And in his kingdom, he reigns supreme.
Right. That's when I knew, without a doubt, that he'd gone and massacred that woman.
Yes, sir. This man witnessed no massacre.
True enough. Captain Fallon, you are no longer out in the wilderness. Within these walls, sir, you will conduct yourself as a civilized human being. Proceed.
Fallon, you were telling us about the Donner money.
Well, prompted by my earlier suspicions, I made a careful search. Found a bundle with jewelry and money in it, and obviously taken from the Donner camp. Also, 2 pistols that were known to be the property of George Donner. It was obvious the German had stolen them.
Did you bother to search his person?
No bother at all. We showed him to be carrying 200 in gold.
Well, how could you be certain this money was not the property of Mr. Kiesenberg?
Well, kind of what his missus told me before we set out.
What I told you?
You said your husband had little or no money with him. He must have found more gold up at the tents, Captain, and then stashed it away somewhere.
And you had yet to find out where.
I took him outside and I put it to him straight. I said, "Kiesenberg, you know where that Donner money is, and you're going to tell us. I ain't going to multiply words with you." Then they got me a rope.
Got a rope!
In your presence, Sheriff?
They were just using it to frighten him.
We were using it to spring him up.
And did your bold, courageous actions have your desired outcome?
You betcha. After we got him swinging and his face turned all the colors of the rainbow,
Captain, the facts.
well, that decided Kiesenberg to cooperate. He agreed to take Foster back up to the tents. Me and McKinstry, well, we began to gather up all the valuables that we could take back.
Earlier, Captain, you mentioned that the man was eating from a skillet.
Aye. Now, he called it his favorite dish, livers and lights. He said it tasted a lot like gamey pork.
Captain Fowler, are you saying that this man had access to good beef, food he could have easily taken back with him, and on returning to the lake he preferred to dine on?
I had their permission.
Sir,
Why did they stop me? I made no protest.
go on.
Well, the next morning, Foster came back with Keseberg. They had between them $270. Just as we suspected, he had hidden it in a specially marked place so it would be easier to find later on.
Sheriff,
Just as he says.
When we were getting ready to leave, well, he collected up all the bones in the cabin. And then he heaped them up in a box, like he was saying a prayer over them.
Blessing them.
And then all of us, Keseberg included, headed down off the mountain.
The German was the last to come out.
your witness, sir.
Handsomely done, James.
You heard about that rope business from Foster.
Fallon, what was your main reason for making the journey to the lake?
My main reason?
Was it like the other parties, a mission to rescue those left behind?
Well, I sure as shit weren't worried about rescuing you, mister.
Captain, we can do without the salty language.
Beg your pardon, Your Honor. It's become second nature.
There were others still thought to be alive. George Donner and his wife. Would you risk hardship and danger to save them?
Well, by that time, all incentive for any more reliefs was gone. I mean, folks had gotten tired of it.
Then by your own admission, your main reason was not to go rescue anyone.
If you're suggesting that we went up there to loot and plunder, then I'm calling you a pig-rutting liar.
Captain, we must insist.
No, we were guaranteed honest wages by the day, Captain, as you know. And I'll be buggered black and blue if we didn't earn every dollar.
Were you not allowed to keep a portion of the goods you carried back?
Yeah, it was a financial deal we had with Sutter and McKinstry. Half for them, half for me and my boys. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We went up there to salvage.
Not to scavenge.
I ain't gonna play at words with you, mister. I said salvage. You call it whatever tickles your privates. Beg your pardon, Your Honor.
Moments ago, Fallon, you went through terrible trouble describing mysterious tracks in the snow. The obvious implication being, whoever left those tracks would have to be the grave robber as well.
You made them tracks.
Did I ever deny making those tracks, or said I visited the Donner tent before you did?
Well, then you're saying you did.
Of course I went there. I told you this outside the cabin when you asked me what happened to the Donner fortune.
Right, and you made a big show of being ignorant.
Didn't I tell you it was my responsibility to take care of that money, to keep it safe for the orphan children? How could I turn it over to you? For all I knew, the lot of you could have been grave robbers.
We have the sheriff with us.
What? Besides, Foster, I never saw any of you before.
We were their lawful authority and you knew it!
What authority?
I had a legal writ from the alcalde here.
True enough.
Did you show me that document? Just once? Did you?
Well, who says we didn't?
Did you, yes or no?
Well, maybe, I reckon
Maybe?
Well, maybe I forgot.
You forgot.
All right, it slipped my mind.
Damnation. I never saw that bit. Only the hangman's broke. How was I to know you had such authority?
Stupid! James, what matters now is those kettles. He means to get around it.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie, for reminding me. Fallon, under oath, you described on entering the Foster cabin, you found me like some hideous ghoul with kettles of full blood.
It made me sick.
Can you be sure with absolute certainty that it was human blood?
With certainty enough,
Perhaps it was not blood at all.
it was blood.
Sir, as an experienced frontiersman, no doubt you've had the occasional slaughtering of livestock.
Every kind and variety.
After blood has been sitting out for a number of hours, does it not harden?
Well, naturally, it congeals.
Inside the cabin with me, did you find any body recently dead?
No, I did not.
Outside the cabin, were they not also corpses of people long since dead?
There were.
Then you tell me, how is it possible to take liquid blood from a dried out corpse?
I said blood. I never said nothing about fresh or clotted.
Me so uncertain about what you said, you must be equally uncertain about what you saw.
Listen, I don't speak 4 languages like you do, mister, but I know blood when I see it.
To remove all doubt, you should have tasted it.
Ah!
Damn it! We are going to get to the bottom of this. Take the oath, McKinstry. We'll have your testimony.
Captain, we have to remain impartial.
McKinstry, the oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sheriff, when you were at the lake from April 17th to April 21st with Captain Fallon, did you see any such kettles?
I did not, Captain, but that don't mean there weren't any. See, I never went inside Kieseberg's cabin.
Damn it!
Silence! During those dates in question, at any time, McKinstry, did you hear Captain Fallon speak of those kettles?
Not to my recollection, sir, but it's always possible I forgot.
No, man! Not a thing like that! Gentlemen, we only have the word of one man in opposition to another. Nowhere is that regarded as evidence.
Damn it to hell!
Fallon, deny you would go through any trouble to do me harm.
I don't have to deny anything. Coming down off that mountain, all of us together, I had plenty of chances to do you harm. Yet here you are.
Coming back over the mountain, sir, we were not together. You shunned me like the plague. Being too weak, I fell behind. Did you ever once slow your pace in my behalf?
There was no need. Every night, didn't you manage to come crawling up to our campfire? Didn't we let you hang around?
And did you abuse me and insult me because you were disappointed in your meager profits taken from your scavenge?
You vermin! There was more money you buried back up there, and we knew it. I should have slit your throat when I had the chance. The captain, he cheated us.
I am done. And you are finished.
Son of a bitch. German, I've seen it all. I've known robbers, I've known killers, I've known man-eaters as well. Christ, once or twice I did it myself. But nobody got to like it. No, not like you. You craved it. Whatever thing you are, you ain't no king. You ain't no person. You ain't nothing human. You're just a walking corpse.
Louis, you are not alone anymore.
Just a game. Kindred here to help pass the time.
Gentlemen, regarding your counter charges against Mr. Kieseberg, the evidence presented is far from conclusive. Mr. Foster, by his absence, has made his position clear. If you men would now be inclined to show leniency and withdraw your accusation.
Not on my life! James, you must.
Alcalde, earlier we passed up the chance to question Mr. Kieseberg. We seek that opportunity now.
Mr. Kieseberg,
It's what I've been waiting for.
I have here, sir, a statement written by you when you first returned to the fort regarding your meeting with Tamsin Donner at the time of her death. Would you care to verify that for me?
Yeah, that is mine.
It says here, a couple of weeks after the visit of Eddie and Foster, late one night in the middle of a snowstorm, Mrs. Donner came down from Alder Creek and appeared at your door. She told you that her husband had died earlier that day. No longer held captain by her wifely duty, the lady was now free to go out after her little ones. In fact, she wanted to start out immediately, without delay. But you persuaded her it was a wild and senseless plan. You induced her to spend the night.
To put off her departure to morning.
Then, according to your statement here, she told you she had left some money back in her tent. She made you promise in sacred trust that should she not survive, that you would take that money out to her orphan children.
My words seemed to put her mind to ease.
No doubt. Then it was time to sleep. She lay down on the ground, and you spread a warm feather bed over her. When you awoke the next morning, lo and behold, you found her dead. Would you care to add anything to your statement?
No, nothing.
Well, can you explain why the lady died with such unexplained suddenness?
Could have been a number of things. Perhaps hunger as icy chill. With her husband gone, she may have given up the will to live.
Not that woman. She was fearless, indestructible. However, suppose that she had consented to stay on with you at the lake instead of going out after her children. Would that have pleased you?
Of course.
But in reality, she did not consent. She wanted to be out after her little ones immediately, without delay. This must have brought you some disappointment.
And why not? After going so long without human companionship.
Human or female companionship.
Ugly insinuations. She was a respectable married lady.
Whose husband, an elderly man and sick for some time, had just died.
Two people sharing the same cabin for a night. That is all.
In your statement, you mentioned that she was wet and chilled from the storm. Would she not, before going to bed, have taken off her wet things?
She may have. I do not recall.
Would the lady not have good sense to take off something wet and put in something dry?
I'm telling you, I do not recall.
Upon finding yourself alone with a woman as attractive as Tamsin Donner, then seeing her prepare for bed, did you not lust after her?
Starving bodies lust after only one thing. Nourishing food.
You were not starving. You had been feeding off the flesh of the dead for many weeks. And Mrs. Donner was anything but sickly. She was well-fleshed.
Two half-dead creatures in misery. And you would have this call believe we spent some time in fornication.
Not fornication, mister. But that implies mutual consent. That lady would have struggled, would have resisted.
Even suggest.
Without anyone to witness the deed, you took that lady by force and you raped her.
Do you even consider such a crime?
Then, overcome with your own omnipotence, you snuffed out her life.
I am no murderer.
There's no need for anything like regret, not with so many direct benefits. The money Mrs. Donner left behind, not to mention the precious food she would have carried away.
She had no food.
She was the food, mister, the woman herself.
No, never.
She had no flesh on her bones, no blood in her veins.
You're confusing me.
Do you deny using your victim to sustain yourself?
No victim.
Do you deny using her?
If I had to sustain myself.
Why, if? Everyone knows you did. A vulture need not be ashamed of its normal appetite.
James, when we started this trial, we agreed there was no crime.
All agreements are cancelled, mister. Null and void.
So, we are back in the snow again, huh?
We are. And you have just finished consuming Mrs. Donner's corpse. And now you have to find your way up to Alder Creek so that you can hide whatever valuables you can't safely carry out back on your own. And then there, you find him. The man you blamed for all of your troubles. George Donner. And now you could have your revenge.
No revenge.
You had just glutted yourself on the body of his wife.
No victim.
To base all things sacred, you tasted the old man's brains.
Now and forever. No crime. James, we are told it is a mortal sin to take our own life. My crime, my sin. I did not. Time and again I was about to do it, with the gun in my mouth and the finger on the trigger. What stopped me? There are some of those who can accept death as a friend and welcome him with a smile. Yet I cannot. The need to go on, that is my crime. My misfortune. I need to live too much.
Captain Suttles, the man is just 10 days out of that place, with no one to counsel him. My God, this cannot be justice.
It will have to do, madam. Finish your statement, sir.
Hello? Silent. Nothing. Nothing. Only the snow. The old lady's gone. The last one. Cold. Fire's out. So hungry. Let's go on. No. No, not that. Yes. Yes, do it. Will they forgive? Will they understand? Pastor, pray to them. See the dead all around you. Knowing that they are there, that is still tolerable. To put them inside you, to make them a living part of yourself. If I got their blessing, then perhaps we would have to make a bargain. They would give me their strength so that I could live. And in return, I would give them a place of shelter. Inside here was them. Well, him. The one I soon came to recognize as their king. He would make it possible for all of us to go on. Well, how we did thrive. Together we conquered all things. Even the snow. We were immortal.
Mr. Kieseberg! While you were in the foster cabin with the old woman and those children, did you in secret murder the two boys?
They died of hunger.
Your hunger!
Silence! Mr. Kieseberg, what really happened between you and Mrs. Donner? On the night she visited you alone in your cabin, did you in any way harm that lady?
No. Yes.
Louis!
Quiet.
Go on.
How could I go on with her? She had seen what I had become. This monster, this abomination. It was all there in her eyes. When she could stand the sight of me no more, she went out into the snow.
To die?
There was a shelter. Could have lived as I did.
What of Mrs. Donner?
At first light, I went out to search.
To butcher her like the rest?
There she was, lying in the snow with her arms around one of the frozen corpses. Better to die that way than to become like me. She alone has the right to condemn me. She makes the righteous choice.
And what about your choice, Vulture? To you, she was just one more carcass.
No. She was more special than that. Fresh meat.
Dear God!
Louis, stop it, Captain, sir!
Enough! Mr. Kieseberg, nowhere, not in any of this, do I find none of our laws. You men have failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Louis Kieseberg is guilty of robbery and murder. His other actions are not at issue here. Therefore, I must find you guilty of slander.
Guilty! Order!
Mr. Kieseberg has claimed damages of $1,000. To signify this episode is closed, the defendants will pay the plaintiff for injury to his reputation the sum of $1.
$1!
Not $1 or 1,000. We're not guilty.
This trial is adjourned.
No, it cannot be finished!
Our business is done.
Not till I get what I deserve! There is nothing left! Yes, there is. You want me to go back to the dead. I need to be among the living! How can I show you, all of you, how?
Louis. No. Come away.
To find our child that way, Bina, was it not a sign?
What sign?
A gift from the snow. It's holding our child in these arms, Pina. I stand here to avoid the mouth of my God. This time I did not flinch or look away. I asked God to show me his truth. He did. What he showed me dazzled me. There was the final truth. Lord, here I am, your creature, naked and alone. Behold what you have created in your image. Can you still accept me as your own? How am I to go out with what I know, with what you've shown me? To hold up that 1 minute longer, I would devour my own child.
What?
No, Sarah, those eyes.
Why did you think to come out? There is nothing now. No love, no family, nothing. The snow has taken it all.
Captain Sutter, the verdict is just, and I accept
To hell with your judgment and your laws! I've got my own!
Sheriff!
That thing will not leave here alive!
Leave! Everyone, leave at once!
No, not yet.
Crazy fool!
You still think my life is worth something. Take it. It's wrong.
Mister, behold your executioner!
I see only my brother.
It's finished! I have the right! What you did, my Jim, that gives me the right!
Do it. Set me free. Oh, set me free.
We are not the same!
No one may hinder you, Mr. Kieseberg. You are free to go out now.
Louis. Louis, my God. What have we let ourselves become?
You're free to go, sir.
Human. Amanda. Ima. Menschlich. Human. Amanda. Human.